Can you believe people can even walk on the ocean floor without getting wet or using any diving gear? This incredible diving bell ship lowers its inverted air cabin deep underwater, pushing the water out and filling it with breathable air. By descending the pressure-resistant ladders attached to the cabin, people can work in a completely dry environment at the bottom of the ocean, and even explore it on foot.
This guy might be the smartest gardener you'll ever see, because while everyone thinks he's just cleaning up yard waste, he's actually doubling his income. First, he gets paid by the homeowner to clear the garden, but instead of throwing the debris away, he sells it to local farmers who use it as compost for their crops. So with one job, he gets paid twice, turning ordinary garden trash into extra cash. Ever wondered why concrete is sometimes demolished with water? This technique, called hydro-demolition, uses high-pressure water jets instead of jackhammers. Unlike traditional methods that can crack and weaken structures, water jets remove concrete cleanly while keeping the steel reinforcement intact. It's the safest way to repair bridges, parking garages, and other concrete structures. Do you know why the river in Chicago turns green on St. Patrick's Day? It's not from party leftovers. It's actually a local tradition. Every year, a team of 10 people uses boats to pour orange powder into the water, which turns bright green when it mixes with the river. The custom started in the 1960s, and Chicago plumbers used dye to detect leaks. One of them had the idea, why not color the whole river for St. Patrick's Day? At first, they used a chemical dye, but now it's eco-friendly and plant-based. Since then, the Chicago River has glowed green every March, a sight you have to see at least once. A stream of golden liquid, thick like honey, is poured out, and you can see beautiful crystals forming along the sides of the basin. This is rock sugar. Few places still preserve this traditional craft today. They use only fresh sugarcane, each stalk carefully washed before being pressed. The juice is filtered, then slowly boiled in 4 large pots for 5 hours. During this process, only skilled craftsmen can master the heat to produce that perfect golden syrup. The syrup is then poured into special molds and left to crystallize for over 30 days. Once hardened, the sugar is hand-broken into small pieces, every step done with patience and precision. The result is pure, old-fashioned rock sugar with no coloring, no flavoring, just natural sweetness that tastes clean and never too heavy. 99.9% of people don't know why they do this. Actually, when ocean waves hit the shore with great force, the soil begins to erode and the beach slowly disappears. But in Indonesia, people dig up the seashore and bury cement pipes. These pipes reduce the force of the waves and prevent the soil from being washed away. Later, they plant trees inside these pipes. This not only protects the beach from erosion, but also makes it incredibly beautiful. Look, the Chinese are making millions of dollars by farming fish alongside pigs. That's right, pig farms here are built above fish ponds and tiny fish are released below. As soon as the pigs defecate, the feces flow through the nets directly to the fish. The fish eat them and grow up, and the pigs are ready to be born simultaneously. Then, when both are sold, there's double the profit, and that too at just one expense.
This is one of the foods that Americans are very hesitant to try, but for the Japanese, it is a beloved delicacy. First, the chef lets the alien clam enjoy some white sake. As the clam opens its mouth to savor the pleasure, the chef quickly takes it out and begins the preparation. The chef removes the meat from its thick shell. To reach this size, the alien clam has lived on the ocean floor for over 10 years. It is said that its price can reach up to $1,000 per gram. Additionally, the clam's shell is considered an artistic item sought after by American collectors with a value of up to $10,000. The chef slices the clam meat into thin pieces. There are many ways to prepare alien clams, such as grilling or steaming, but for the Japanese, clams are truly at their sweetest when eaten fresh as sashimi. The clam is placed in a saltwater bath and thoroughly cleaned to remove any slime. Then, the chef takes out the shell, covers it with thinly sliced onions for decoration, and places the clam meat on top. The alien clam sashimi is now ready to be served, accompanied by wasabi dipping sauce. Would you like to try it?
This Japanese chef is a genius. He makes a delicious cornflour 1,000-layer cake with simple ingredients. First, mix 150 grams of milk, 100 grams of corn flour, 2 eggs, 10 grams of sugar, 3 grams of breadcrumbs, and 200 grams of flour into a smooth dough. Roll the dough into a long piece, brush with oil, sprinkle with salt and dry flour, and cut it into 3 pieces. Fold it like a quilt and roll the edges a bit bigger. Brush with water, sprinkle black sesame, and press with a rolling pin. Steam for 15 minutes, then fry it. This tasty cake is nutritious and easy to make. Make it and surprise your guest. For the full recipe, check out our website on bio.
These poles aren't just being cleaned, as they're actually a part of one of the smartest farms on Earth. Because this is a mussel farm, and how it works is genius, as the process starts by laying thin ropes in the sea, which naturally attracts millions of tiny mussel larvae. And since a single mussel can reproduce 2 million eggs at once, these ropes fill up insanely fast. So they're then brought over to be wrapped around these wooden poles, as these are gonna make the farm work almost completely on its own, because they're covered in nets to keep them from falling. And as the tide constantly crashes up and down the poles, it not only feeds the mussels automatically, but it also cleans them too.
Let's go!
During the blooming season, the farmer goes into the cactus garden to do something special. She gently picks the blooming cactus flowers and helps accelerate the pollination process. Once the plant has been successfully pollinated and begins to bear fruit, the farmer covers the young fruit with a plastic cup to prevent insect attacks. When the fruit turns pink and ripe, it is time to harvest the result.
Why are Japanese people making fake cabbage? They put white and green wax on water, slowly dip it in, pull it out, shape it into a cabbage. But this cabbage isn't edible, it's a food sample. Restaurants put it outside so customers can see what the dish looks like before ordering.
This bird is so perfectly designed by nature that it almost never lands. I'm not exaggerating. Scientists tracked it and made a mind-blowing discovery. It can stay in the air for up to 10 months without ever touching the ground. This is the longest continuous flight ever recorded for any bird. During this time, it does everything while airborne, like catching insects mid-flight, skimming over rivers to drink, and even mating on the wing. And here's another crazy fact. It also sleeps in the air. It ascends to a high altitude, and then, as it glides down, it switches off half of its brain, essentially sleeping on autopilot. But its one weakness is the ground. Its legs are so underdeveloped that if it ever lands, it can't take off again. It's built for one thing and one thing only: the sky. Its name is the common swift.
This is a high-speed bush cutting machine that can trim up to 2,000 bushes in just 1 hour. It only needs one person to operate. Once it's placed over the plants, a single press of a button shapes them into different designs. With the help of this machine, gardeners can easily make a very high-level income every month. This guy is a real genius, and anyone can replicate his idea because he figured out how to sell ordinary stones for thousands of dollars. It all starts with him marking the stone and then cutting out the core with a special machine. But now, he needs to remove all the unnecessary pieces of stone and smooth out the walls. Next, he attaches a completely different attachment to the machine, which allows him to perfectly carve out the entire core of the stone and then polish it to create a jug that costs only $2,000. Give this genius a like.
This man buries animal bones underground for 6 months, not out of madness, but as part of a natural preservation process. When he digs them up, he carefully cleans and takes them home. While many think he's crazy, he knows exactly what he's doing. With patience and skill, he transforms those bones into breathtaking artworks, now worth millions on the market.
Workers can be seen repeatedly slapping cement slurry onto the wall using special tools. But what's the real purpose of this step? This process, known as cement slurry dashing, involves dipping the tool into the mixture and patting it onto the surface to create a rough, spiky texture. This rough layer strengthens the bond between the concrete base and the plaster, preventing future hollowing or detachment. It's usually applied to beams, slabs, and concrete columns. Curing typically begins the next day, once the slurry has set slightly, and continues for at least 2 days, until the surface becomes firm and gritty to the touch.